So maybe we don't read anything new. We read something we have already worked on that might be a little easier for me today.
Sure. So let's start at the beginning of the page 459.
Yeah.
Because it's about this adventurer who is, mankind through a blind, unforeseeing time. Unforeseeing really means not being aware of or seeing in advance. Someone that's not prescient, not all knowing. So it's an unforeseeing time. So let's concentrate a few moments, huh?
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
hold your hand, okay? You call in her mother. You call in mother.
Yeah, I am. Narad, like I'm receiving a beautiful, beautiful vision. She gave me a beautiful vision. You know
Uh,
how you always talk about who does seeing the upper part of the body. She gave me a slightest vision of her feet and up till little above the knee. She's sitting on a big, big, very, very big something chair. It feel it just it is so I don't know how to even speak about it.
can talk to you a little bit about it because I know about her feet. Uh, I have touched them. I have put my head on her feet. I have put my head in her lap. But all my life, it has been the feet of the divine that has been the most powerful experience for me, to touch the feet of the divine. And this is why when I touch the feet of others, the feet of the divine also. People
Yeah.
don't understand that. How can my feet are dirty? How can you touch? No, no, no. The feet are our contact with Mother Earth. They are what eh, what is the word I'm seeking for? They are what fastens us
Yeah.
to the
Like I
earth.
said, more
Keeps
grounding. Our feet keeps us grounded
it
to Mother Earth.
around Mother Earth. So if Mother gave you that vision, it's extremely important because for me the feet of the divine are everything. And one time I went through the whole of Savitri and I copied every line that had to do with their feet. Uh,
I think that's very beautiful. I think that's very beautiful. I think I can also like, read through searching it or like I'm sure you also have something like I think that's a beautiful thing to write, Savitri. I think this is really like I think
mm,
this is something that I have to do in my in the time like
very
the
good.
time yeah the time that I chose actually like I wanted to do this retreat was 40 days starting the 1st of June. So so I already had like wanting to do that, and I was having struggle like what do I do with the time, like and I have it's when I don't follow the guidance of the time, then it really like messes me up. I completely like fall out of schedule, and I don't take care of myself, and in some sense I feel like like time eludes me kind of feeling. So yeah, I think that was one of my biggest fears, and like I think
Yes.
I it during this.
Yeah. If you can call Mother and Sri Aurobindo very, very, very consciously focusing on the center of the chest, where the psychic being is
Yeah,
behind the heart. Now, it's not the heart center as
yeah,
we, which is on the right, which is on the left, sorry, but it's the center of the chest where you will find the
Yeah.
psychic being and have it come out more and more.
I'm feeling it, Narad.
Wonderful. That's going to give you the calm that you need. That contact with the psychic being is the most important. Okay.
But thank you so much. Before we read on, thank you so much. It is it you holding my hand is like I really felt it. I really felt the Divine Mother's energy coming through you. So bowing down to you, Narad. Namaste.
Namaste. You also. You are a divine being. You just have to realize it more and more.
Adventurer through blind, unforeseeing time, a forced advance through a long line of lives. It pushes its spearhead through the centuries, across the dust and the mire of the earthly plane,
No,
on many God
no,
of
and the
the
fire. No, the is not there. Across the dust and mire. You put a the in there. I have to
okay.
read a little more slowly.
I begin from the top.
Good.
Adventurer through blind unforeseeing time, a forced advance through a long line of lives. It pushes its spearhead through the centuries. I'm going to read it again, Narad, because I'm still not quite getting it. Adventurer through blind unforeseeing time, a forced advance through a long line of lives. It pushes its spearhead through the centuries, across the dust and mire of the earthly plane, on many guarded lines and dangerous fronts, in wounded, slow retreats, holding the ideals ringed and battered fort, or fighting against odds in lonely posts, and around the
Viv, Viv,
fire,
yes. Fires.
fires, the tardy trumpet of the dawn, in hunger and in plenty and in pain, through peril and through triumph and through fall, through life's green lanes and over her desert sands, up the bald moor, along the sunlit ridge in serried columns, with a straggling rear, led by its nomad vanguard's signal fires, marches the army of the way-lost God.
So just to go over this whole almost military vision that Sri Aurobindo is giving us.
Yeah.
A human soul as a member of an army of the way lost God. So that
Hmm.
soul has to adventure through blind, unforeseen time. It even has to make a forced advance. And we talked about forced advance
Yeah.
when the troops have to go much faster than usual
Yeah.
under emergency conditions and pushing its spearhead. That's the driving force, the front line through the centuries, across the dust and mire of the earthly plane, on many guarded lines. So, guarded lines are protected lines, defended lines, but there are also
Uh-huh.
dangerous fronts, very dangerous fronts. And we find those dangerous fronts when we look at the world today. We see what is happening, and it's oh, it's horrifying. In America, it's very, very bad. In Israel, it's really bad. There's
Yeah.
anti-Semitism all over the world. And so this human army of the way lost God has to go through dire assaults, has to retreat sometimes, has to go back. One always retreats uh, strategically.
Yeah.
So when an army is before an enemy, they
Yeah.
can retreat strategically to a better position. It's not a negative thing, a wounded, slow retreat.
Understood.
It's a positive thing. And then
Yeah.
holding the ideals ringed and battered fort. Well, so when one gets into this ideal, uh, the ideal is this model of perfection. He says they're the savor and sap of life. And when one gets into them as in a battered fort or has to fight against odds in these lonely posts, wherever one is positioned, wherever one is in life. Right now, you are fighting against odds in a lonely post.
Exactly. I was thinking how apt this lines are for me right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, or camped even in night around the bivouac's fire. We talked about the bivouac being
Yes.
not a
The
very protected
temporary
place,
camp. Yeah.
awaiting the tardy trumpets of the dawn. Well, the tardy trumpets of the dawn is an image that is very beautiful. It's when the first rays of the sun arise from the horizon. In hunger and in plenty and in pain, well, there we are. That's all of us. Through peril and through triumph and through fall, through life's green lanes and over her desert sands. Well, yes, this is an image. It's a beautiful image, but all of us have had life's experienced life's green lanes, and we have experienced the desert of being. These desert sands where there seems to be nothing for us in the future. I felt it when Mary Helen passed away, for sure.
Mm.
Up the bald moor, along the sunlit ridge, in serried columns. So this army of the god is still marching, and there's a straggling rear, and I can say many times I've been part of that straggling rear. Probably am still, although I was beloved by Nolini and Basu and others, and I still don't understand why I was loved so deeply. But anyway,
Narad, who those of us who love you deeply understand that.
led by its nomad vanguard signal fires. Well, the nomad, of course, is a tribe that moves
Yeah.
around, like the
Yeah.
gypsy. Huh?
Yeah.
The vanguard is the foremost position,
Yeah.
advancing into
In the
battle.
army. Yeah.
And signal fires, of course, are the fires of warning, or when we talked about those signal fires when one is in danger, one shoots them up uh, so that planes or others could see where one is in danger and come to their relief. And so marches the army of the way lost God. We, my dear, are part of that army
Mm.
because we have chosen Sri Aurobindo and Mother
Mm.
above all religions, above all sects, above all dogmas. We have gone and heard their call and answered it. What we have to go through, they are going through with us. They are leading us through.
Mm.
And we will see as we go next time that we will begin to remember more and more why we are
Mm.
here, why we
Mm.
why we have to face these challenges, which no doubt are difficult and straining, but they are also the possibilities for our greater progress.
Yeah.
And if we can see them like that, then they don't become so terrifying, so uh, so bringing us to tears. And we have to. I have known tears. I have known tears for ages. The tears are gone now,
Mm.
and replaced by love and devotion.
Mm.
But they were there, and I understand them coming from you.
Mm.
You're very young, and these these tears are often of the psychic, not always of the emotional being.
Okay.
And you have to learn to separate them. If they're from the psychic being, like the one you just had where Mother gave you that vision, that
Yeah.
was those were tears of the psychic being.
Okay.
The other tears before were of the emotional being.
Understand.
Good.
Yeah.
So we'll stop for today.